Hello students, welcome to Shubhra Ranjan IAS. My name is Shubhanshu Jaiswal and let's continue our daily current affairs practice. Now, in question 1 today we have consider the following statements with reference to Marshall Islands. Fine. The statements are number 1, it is a sovereign nation in the Eastern Pacific Ocean. So yes, this is a sovereign nation because earlier it was not. It was only in the 1980s when it signed an agreement with US and got completely independent. Hence, sovereign nation. However, the location mentioned here, that is, it is in the Eastern Pacific Ocean, is incorrect because it is actually in the Northwest Pacific Ocean. Fine. So the statement is incorrect. Number 2, it comprises a chain of 5 volcanic islands and 29 coral atolls. So yes, this, as the name says, islands, it comprises of many small islets, which together is known as a country. Fine. The third statement is the government of Marshall Islands operates under a mixed parliamentary presidential system. So as we discussed here, it is actually a group of small islands. So it's a small country, and small countries often have the unitary nature, and this particular state also has unicameral legislature. Fine. And they follow parliamentary presidential system where the same person is head of the government and the head of the state. Fine. The countries, there are other small nations which also follow the unicameral legislature. For example, the New Zealand, the Sweden, etc. Fine. So here you can see only option 1 is incorrect. So option 2 and 3 will be the right answer. Fine. Let's go ahead. So here you can just see, have a reference, like this is the equator, here you have Australia, and this is the group of small islands, and in this you have this Marshall Islands. Fine. You can see it is above equator, that is, it is in the Northern Pacific Ocean, and it is on the western side, hence we say it is located in Northwest Pacific Ocean. Fine. So this is the location. I hope it's clear now. This is a more clear picture. You can just see now what has happened, why it is here, because recently Marshall Islands has signed an economic agreement with USA. That is why it was in the news. One more thing, the capital of this country is Majuro. Okay, Majuro. Fine. Now let's go ahead. Consider the following statements with respect to Setu Bandhan scheme. Another scheme. I told you schemes are very important for you. So let's see what it is. Number 1, it is an initiative of Ministry of Rural Development. Now this is incorrect. Why? Because this is under Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Fine. Now second statement, it aims to enhance connectivity between states. Yes, correct, with a particular focus on remote rural regions. So this is also correct, located at the borders. So yes, the statement is completely correct. You can see it's many a times statement is not giving you just one information. It is the collection of multiple information, and maybe one of those is incorrect. So it's important to read the entire statement carefully. Fine. So statement 2 is completely correct and 1 is incorrect. So you can go for this particular option. Fine. Now why it is here, because recently what has happened, Union Minister of Road Transport and Highways, Shri Nitin Gadkari ji, he has approved 7 big projects, bridge projects in the state of Arunachal Pradesh under this Setu Bandhan scheme. Fine. You can definitely have an idea. The objective is to enhance the connectivity because Arunachal Pradesh is far, it is not that much connected with the mainland India. Fine. So the objective is to improve the infrastructure there and improve the connectivity. Fine. So that is all. So these are the projects where this scheme is going to be implemented under these heads. Fine. Now, next question, with respect to Collegium system, consider the following statements. Number 1, Article 124 Clause 2 and 217 of Indian Constitution deal with the selection and appointment of judges for the Supreme Court and High Court respectively. Very long statements, but it is important. Why? Because in exam also many a times you will see very long statement. Why? To confuse you. But if your concepts are clear, if you are sharp enough, you will not get afraid. Fine. So look at them confidently. Yes, the summary of this statement is that Article 124 Clause 2 deals with selection of Supreme Court judges. Yes, correct. Second part, Article 217 deals with the selection of the High Court judges. Yes, this is also correct. So the statement is completely true. Fine. Now, second statement, there is no explicit mention of collegium in original constitution or successive amendments. So what this collegium is actually, in short, in a very layman language, I can say at present the collegium comprises of Chief Justice of India and 4 senior most judges. Now this particular group, in consultation with President, they do the work of appointment. They decide about the appointment and selection of the Supreme Court or High Court judges. Fine. Now, so this particular statement is correct. There is no mention of collegium in the constitution or any related amendment. This is more of a convention of judiciary. Fine. So the statement is correct. The third statement, the collegium system ensures complete transparency in judicial appointment process. So look at the word complete transparency. This is an extreme word. Moreover, collegium system, as I told you, that it comprises of 5 humans who are from the judiciary. So it is always subject to discretion of these 5 people. Hence, it cannot be completely transparent. Fine. Wherever there is discretion, there is always the less chance of transparency. Fine. Now, the Supreme Court struck down the 99th constitutional amendment as being violative of the independence judiciary. This particular statement is also correct. What happened actually, 99th constitutional amendment, it aimed to establish a body, NJAC, National Judicial Appointments Commission. The work of this was to appoint the Supreme Court and High Court judges. However, this particular body this particular act was seen as violation of independence of judiciary, which is also the basic structure of Indian Constitution. Hence, the Supreme Court struck down this particular amendment, and hence the statement is correct here. So only one statement is incorrect. So you can go for only 3. Fine. Now let's go ahead. So what has happened recently, a Chief Justice of your Manipur High Court has been appointed. So these are the things related to Supreme Court and High Court judges which you should know. Fine, they are important but a bit complex, but don't worry, just be attentive, you will understand. So one important article, Article 124 Clause 2 that we mentioned in this question only, you just look at the reading, the verbiage of this article. Every judge of the Supreme Court shall be appointed by the President by warrant under his hand and seal after the consultation with such of the judges of the Supreme Court and of the High Court in the states as the President may seem necessary. Now, in short, it is saying that President is going to appoint in consultation with the judges. Now, this is not telling whether this consultation, whether the opinion of these judges is going to be binding or non-binding upon the President. Now, whenever there is doubt, whenever there is confusion in the Constitution's word itself, then who will interpret it? Definitely the Supreme Court of India, because they are the custodian, they are the final interpreter of the Indian Constitution. So what happened eventually, there are 4 cases, 4 judgments which are related to this particular thing. Fine. The first case is SP Gupta case 1981, also known as first judge's case. In this particular case, in short, it was said that this consultation per se is not binding. If it is not binding upon the President, what does it mean? That President can do what he feels. It is the discretion of President. That means that executive, because President is what? Executive head, got more power here than the judiciary. Fine. However, later in this second judge's case in 1993, right after 12 years, this case was, this judgment was overruled by the Supreme Court itself. They said that this particular consultation, it is binding. Fine. Then in the third judge's case 1998, Supreme Court expanded the Collegium to a 5-member body, and from then you had this Collegium, the Chief Justice of India plus 4 senior most judges. Okay, I'm telling you in a very simple form. Okay, there are more technicalities as well, but just have a brief idea. In the year 2014, the government brought a act, fine, the 19th Constitutional Amendment Act, and they established NJAC. And this, as I said in the just before, that this particular body aimed to establish, this particular body aimed to appoint the judges, and this was seen as a violation of independence of judiciary. Hence the Supreme Court in the year 2015 struck down this particular act, and from then to now the collegium system is being followed for the selection or appointment of the judges of Supreme Court and High Court. Fine. So these are the 4 cases. These are important for your prelims and important to mention in your mains as well. Fine. Some key facts related to this which I have mentioned here. Fine. Now you can see already in the year 2021 there has been a question in this background. It says that statement 1 is saying that any retired judge of Supreme Court of India can be called back to sit and act as a Supreme Court judge by Chief Justice of India with prior permission of the President of India. So yes, this particular statement is correct. Second, a High Court in India has the power to review its own judgment as the Supreme Court judge. So yes, this statement is also correct. So here both 1 and 2 is the right answer. Fine. Now, next question, with reference to angel tax, consider the following statements. Number 1, it is an income tax which is levied when an unlisted company issues shares to an investor at a price higher than its fair market value. Yes, this is correct. Don't worry, I'll explain it right now. Okay. Yes, the statement is correct. For now, you just understand that it is imposed only on investments made by a resident investor. Now, what are resident investor? The ones who are staying in this country. So earlier it was right. However, recently a change has been made according to which now even the non-resident also are subject to this, and hence there the word only is problematic, and as of now this statement is incorrect. So only 1 would be the right answer here. No, they are asking you incorrect. So go for only 2. Fine. Now let's go ahead. Now, what is angel tax basically? First of all, understand, suppose this is a startup. Okay, if it is not getting the money, it is not getting the investment from any particular company, rather it is getting from some high net worth investor who is giving a lot of money to this startup. So for this startup, this person is no less than an angel. That is why this person becomes angel investor. But the question arises, why would he do this? Fine. One case is definitely he might see some potential in this startup, but there can also be the case that this person is not being magnanimous, but he is trying to clean his black money. Fine. Now, what happens? This particular startup, it gives its equity or share, that is the ownership of this startup on the exchange of some money. Fine. So you can see money is being given to startup and equity or ownership is being transferred. But what happens here is, if the worth of this equity or ownership is, let's say, 400 per share, but this person is giving him 1000 per share, that means some sort of distortion is there. Okay, so this clearly means that 600 extra is being shown, it's being actually cleaned, which is actually a black money. So in this case, government says what? That we will put the tax of 30% on this particular profit. Fine. So the net worth of this share was, let's say, 400 rupees, but this 600 rupees extra is being paid to the startup. That means this 600 extra is kind of black money. It is the income of this person, and hence 30% slab, this 30.6 to be precise, is imposed on this particular income of the angel investor, and it is this particular tax is known as angel tax. So recently it was in news, and the things related to this are here. What you need to keep in mind that recently this change has been brought, which extends the angel tax even to non-resident investors, okay, from April 1. So come in the coming year. Fine. So these are the things which were in the news. I hope these today's concepts are actually very important and you have understood them well. In case if there is any doubt, you can write it down in the comment section. Thank you and have a nice day.